Hear us as
we have Mr. Nganga with us. He's a motivational speaker. He's going to share with us many things related to our academics, and I'm sure, since some of you, all of you, you are about to begin the exams, you are going to benefit a lot.
I'm a teacher by profession, a counselor, and also a motivational speaker. So I've decided to come to your school, St. Martin's Girls, this afternoon to teach you something which is going to help you in this life. In this life, now you're in school, and after you leave school. I have a wonderful topic that I want to teach you this afternoon, entitled Useful Tips for Effective Study. I also compose shairis. I also compose poems, which I go teaching in secondary schools and in primary schools, for you to recite during the Parents' Day, during the prize giving day, during the annual general meeting. So I'm about to recite a poem I've composed in form of a shairi, a poem entitled Mwanzo wa Safari Ndefu. I hope you'll enjoy. Mwanzo wa safari ndefu ni kuanzia na hatua moja. Kila siku narauka asubuhi na mapema, wengine wanapolala, ninaanza kwa maombi. Nashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kunilinda usiku kucha, na kumuomba aniongoze kwa lolote nifanyalo. Nipisheni, nipisheni, msinisuie jiani. Ninajua nina uwezo kufaulu kila somo. Hakuna lililo ngumu kuliko lile lingine. Linalosemekana ni ngumu, kwangu ndilo rahisi. Ninaposhika kitabu na kisoma kwa bidii, sikubali ufifu utawale maisha yangu. Nipisheni, nipisheni, msinisuie jiani. Siku tunasoishi sio kama zamani. Wakubwa kwa wadogo utakuta wakisoma. Kila kasi inahitaji elimu na ujuzi. Teknolojia ya sasa yataka tujielewe, tusije tukabakia katika enzi za kale. Nipisheni, nipisheni, msinisuie jiani. Vipawa nilivyopewa vyote navitumia ili viweze kunifungulia milango maishani. Ninajua nina uwezo kutekeleza mambo muhimu na kuyagundua mambo mengi ambayo hayajagunduliwa. Wengine wanapoogopa, mimi nitang'ang'ana. Nipisheni, nipisheni, msinisuie jiani. Nitazingatia sheria ambazo zimewekwa. Sitakuwa na ukabila, nitawatumikia watu wote. Wivu, chuki na uchoyo mimi nimekataa. Sitakubali kupotoshwa na watofu wa nidhamu. Nitakuwa mzalendo anayependa nchi yake. Nipisheni, nipisheni, msinisuie jiani. Wazazi na wafadhili pamoja na walimu, hakika mmejitoa katika hali na mali niishi maisha mazuri kuliko mnayoishi. Nami nawahakikishia hamtakuja kuaibika. Nitafanya muheshimiwe popote mpitapo. Nipisheni, nipisheni, msinisuie jiani. That is among my many shairis and poems But allow me this afternoon, due to time, I teach you useful tips for effective study. When I go to colleges, when I go to secondary schools, because I go to different secondary schools, for instance, here I have a VCD, which have been taken in Gateway Girls, and I have another one for the students in primary school. When I go to school, I normally tell the students that they have that potential. They have that capability of making it in life. But you get some of them do not perform as they would expect, because maybe they do not know the methods, they do not know the strategies. And that is why this afternoon, I'm going to teach you something which I believe at the end of the lesson, you have learned something which is going to make you improve your study methods. That is why I've told you to write the title, Useful Tips for Effective Study. And as we learn these 21 tips, which you are supposed to use when you are doing your study, when we conclude them, we are also going to see reasons why the students, or reasons why the pupils like you fails the exam. We are going to see those 20 reasons. But let us start with useful tips for effective study. Number one, you can write it down. Know which subject you want to study on. That is the first thing you are supposed to know. Whenever you are doing your study, you are supposed to know which subject am I going to study on. That is why you see those students who are not serious, or those students who do not know what they are doing, they carry their bag. They are saying that they are going in a study hall or in a study room or in a quiet, comfortable room at home to study, but at the back of their mind they don't know which subject they are going to study. So that is why I have written number one, know which subject you want to study on. Number two, collect any material you may need before you begin your study reading. Collect any material you may or you might need before you start your study reading, e.g. textbooks, writing pads, pens, geometrical sets, etc. You might need before you start your study reading, textbooks, writing pads, pens, like that. Okay, point number 3. We are also going to have time whereby you are going to ask a question. Maybe as you have been doing your study, there are some challenges which you come across when you do your studies. Maybe you do not perform as you would expect because you have some challenges in one way or the other. We are going to have 2 or 3 of you asking questions. Point number 3. Know how much time you need to complete your study, or decide how much time you don't need to complete your study. Am I going to do my study reading for 2 hours, or am I going to take 1 hour? Am I going to take 30 minutes? Before you begin your study, you are supposed to know how much time do I need to complete my study reading. Are we together? Are you learning something? Yes. Point number 4. Decide where and when you are going to do your study. E.g., in a quiet, comfortable room, at home, in the study hall, in the classroom, or in any other appropriate place for you. Number 5. Number 5. Try reading at the same time daily. Try reading at the same time daily. To overcome the temptations of waiting only when you are in the mood. Mood, you put exclamation marks in the word mood. Try reading at the same time daily to overcome the temptation of waiting until when you are in the mood. You know, there are some students, for example, when they close the school, they wait until the time they feel like reading. They feel like doing their study. Today I don't have a mood. I'm not going to study today. Yesterday was on a Sunday. I'm too tired. I don't have a mood to study today. But if you set a certain time, and that is why I normally tell the students, when you close the school, it is advisable for you to have a timetable, a personal timetable. Like, for instance, if I may ask, how many of you have what we call personal timetables in the classroom? Not the one you have in the front of. How many of you have what we call personal timetables? Good. Clap for yourself. Yes, at home. Do you have a rough timetable which you use in your, for your study? Yes, you should have it. And it is advisable for you to set a specific time. And it is good to tell yourself that I'm not going to begin my study before I finish the simple chores or the simple tasks that I'm given there by my parents at home. After you complete that, that is the time you now sit down. You start reading. And these notes that you are writing, I know they are going to help you. Right now you are in school. Go and teach them also to your sisters and your brothers who are back at home. Point number? 6. Do not plan your study reading. Do not plan your study reading when you are too tired. Do not plan your study reading when you are too tired or very hungry. Because you keep on sneaking to go and eat something. I'm not telling you to write that one. That one of sneaking to go and eat something. Just write, do not plan your study reading when you are too tired or very hungry. Full stop. Let me explain the rest of that point. Then, when you have also eaten excessively, you are not supposed to study at that time. Excessive eating, particularly during the Christmas. The Christmas breeze. You get there some students who, after they have taken food in excess, that is the time they are saying that I'm going to study now. You can't concentrate, my friend. Number 7, know all your textbooks. Know all your textbooks. And what they contain while reading them. Know all your textbooks and what they contain while reading them. For example, you are supposed to know, if you are taking mathematics, how many textbooks do I have? I have secondary, mathematics book. I have another one like another textbook for mathematics. Yeah, solving problems in math. You are supposed to know how many textbooks do I have. When I'm studying using this textbook, what does it contain? You are supposed to know. Like when we come to mathematics, like for Form 2, we have topics like indices, logarithms. Which other topic? In Form 3, we have topics like inequalities, yes, surds, probability, yes, it's matrices. In Form 4, which topics are there in mathematics? Yes, yes, rockers, navigation. Is navigation there? Differentiation, is it there? Yes, you are supposed to know all these topics. So you are supposed to know all your textbook and what they contain. The other point here, point number 8. Read and follow instructions carefully when doing any assignment. Read and follow instructions carefully when doing any assignment. Or when doing any assignment. You should read and follow instructions carefully. I've come to realize that many students fail the exam not because they don't know. It's only because they don't follow the instructions. Read and follow instructions to the letter. Like when we come to mathematics, I may ask a very simple question. Let 3 girls stand up and I ask them a question. On this row, on this side, one of you to stand up. Just one of you to stand up. I ask a very simple question. Stand up, my friend. Yes, stand up. Let us have another girl standing on this side. Stand up. Higher. Another one here. Somewhere here. I want to ask a very simple question. I want to show you that some students feel that some, not because they don't know. Okay, my friend, stand up. Yes, another student somewhere. I want to ask each of them a question. And please, if you know the answer, don't whisper the answer to them, okay? Don't whisper the answer to them. Okay, I'm going to give you only 5 seconds to answer the question. What is 0 minus 3? Yes? Don't shout the answer. Don't shout the answer. What is 0 minus 3? Yes? What is 0 minus 3, my friend? Yes? Okay. What is 0 minus 3? Good. Good. What is 0 minus 3? Good. Clap for them. For some students, whereby I have gone to very many secondary schools, primary schools, they tell me 0 minus 3 is 0. Any number subtracted from 0, it is negative, that number. You know that one, isn't it? Because you covered that in Form 1, whereby you are dealing with integers. So to tell me that 0 minus 4 or 0 minus 6 is 0, that one is wrong. It is negative, that number. Are we together? Let me ask a class 1 question. Stand up, my friend. I ask a standard 1 question. Who else here? I'm going to ask a standard 1 question. I pick a random. Stand up. You know, people fail in simple matters. 5 seconds to answer the question. How many fingers do you have? 20. 20? 10. 20. How many fingers do you have? Yes? We have how many fingers? We have 10 fingers. She has said 10 fingers. Stand up. And you know you are going to appear in this camera. How many fingers do you have? 10. How many fingers do you have? 10. Okay. Do we agree, all of us, that we have 10 fingers? Yes. Anybody with a different answer? Anybody with a different answer? has said 20. Okay, okay. Let us be together, let us be together. Listen here, listen here. Listen. Is there anybody with a different answer? So you all agree that we have 10 fingers? Then you are wrong. We have 8 fingers. These are adverbs. You see? That is a class 1 question. You are going to get in their science paper, you are going to get in their science paper, how many fingers do we have? You get in the choices 10, 20, 8. And the answer should be 8. Yes, these are verbs, they are not fingers. Do you see? That is why I have said you should read and follow instructions carefully. We go to point number 9. Point number 9. Preview each chapter. Preview each chapter before you begin reading. Review each chapter before you begin reading to get an overall picture of what the reading is all about. To get an overall picture of what reading is all about. You should review each chapter before you begin reading to get an overall picture of what reading is all about. Are we together? Have you understood that? You've understood that point. Let us move to the other point. Point number? Use titles, headings, and some subheadings to ask yourself questions. Use titles, headings, and some subheadings to ask yourself questions. You should make sure you have used the titles, you have used the headings, the subheadings to ask yourself questions. For example, I have the syllabus for the secondary school here. When you come to a topic like the moles, formula, and chemical questions, we have some subtopics like the moles as a basic unit, relative atomic mass. At the end of that chapter, you are supposed to have known how to do it. We come to another topic like organic chemistry, whereby you are told at the end of this topic, the learner should be able to, do you see, now you are asking yourself questions, to define a hydrocarbon, now B, name and draw the structure of simple hydrocarbon, alkaline, another one. Are you not writing that in? Are you writing that? No, I'm just portraying a picture of what you are supposed to do. So you should use titles, you should use heading and subheading to ask yourself questions. Let us move to the other point. Are you getting something? Yes. Let us go to the other point. We are point number 11. Try to identify the main idea. Try to identify the main idea of each paragraph. Try to identify the main idea of each paragraph, phrases, or sentences in italic or boldface. I repeat again. Try to identify the main idea of each paragraph, phrases, or sentences in italic or boldface. This comes when you are doing your study in literature, and maybe you are reading a certain paragraph. Whereby you are going to summarize that paragraph using 300 words. Do you read such paragraphs? when it comes to English literature, whereby you are told to read a certain paragraph, then you summarize it with 300 words or 200 words. Do you do such kind of work? Yes. We used to do it some time ago when I was in secondary school. So you are supposed to do that. You are supposed to do that. That one is in the literature. Number 4. And if I'm too fast to tell me, am I too fast? Yes. Oh, why are you not telling me? I want to be free with me. In fact, you should take me as your brother. I'm taking you as my own sisters, as my own daughters. So be free with me. So if I'm too fast, you tell me. You tell me to pause. I then continue. Take a close look at maps. Take a close look at maps, charts. Take a close look at maps, charts, graphs, and other illustrations to help you understand and remember important information. Take a close look at maps, charts, graphs, and other illustrations to help you understand and remember important information. Don't take graphs for granted. Don't take charts for granted. Don't take illustrations for granted. You are supposed to take a close look at them. Maybe when you are covering a subject like history, this is a topic which includes, or in geography, you are going to get that is a topic which has very many diagrams. You are supposed to take a close look at the chart. For example, when you are solving mathematics, you have what we call the Cartesian plane, isn't it? Yes. Okay. When you are solving the questions, that is graphical questions. When you have the Cartesian plane, you have what we call the x-axis and y-axis. You should also know the coordinates. If you are solving a question or each and every graphical question, you are supposed to know how you are going to place, how you are going to do it. Are you together? So, point number 3. I know now you are full of questions. So you are going to ask me questions. You are going to ask me questions. And if you maybe if you shy to raise up your hand and ask a question, you can ask a question pretending that you are asking on behalf of another person. For instance, you stand up and raise your hand. You ask, Nganga, I want you to tell me there is a friend of mine who, when she is studying, sometimes she behaves this way or that way. And you are pretending that you are asking on behalf of your friend, and you are asking, we won't know it is you. If you can't be able to gather such courage, it is also good for you to write it on a piece of paper. Should we go to point number 13? Is it point number 13 or 14? 13. Take good note of everything you read. Take good note of everything you read. Take good note of everything that you read. And that is why we said in point number 2, correct any material you may need. Take good note of everything you read. Summarize, comma, outline, comma, star, comma, underline, or highlight, with a text marker with a text marker, or whatever else works best for you, or whatever else works best for you. You should do that. Don't go to your study reading room, or don't go to do your study without a writing pad, without an extra book, without a rough book, whereby you are jotting down whatever you are reading. Let us summarize. You outline, you highlight. Are you clear? And that is why I would have come with papers. I would have come with research papers. And I would have given each one research papers. But I decided to come and dictate to you this point, because you are going to understand them better when you write them. Point number 14. Point number 14. I know you are enjoying. Number 14. Use all of your senses as you read. Use all of your senses as you read. Do you have very nice handwritings? Don't write that. But I'm appreciating your handwritings. I've said number 14. Use all of your senses.